We're recording once again. All right, we're going to talk about what to do with sound with your DSLR camera. So, in normal operation, there's nothing plugged into it. It's using a little tiny microphone. You can maybe see the tiny holes for the microphone right there and right there. And it will record sound with that. That's fine. First thing to know about sound recording with the DSLR, if you're not listening to it, you should always assume it's not recording sound, or also assume that it's the worst sound you could imagine. The only way to know for sure if your camera is recording something decent is to monitor. So you can use whatever headphones you have, as long as they have some way to get to this kind of connection. This is an 1/8 inch stereo. All right, here's where we plug it in. Little door that opens up. I have a pictogram, little picture that looks like a set of headphones. We're gonna pop it in there. This is nice how they designed this. The entire monitor clears that jack, so you're not gonna have to worry about that. I'm putting it on my ears. Another thing that we reference when we talk about monitoring sound is visually monitoring sound. If I'm up in here and I hit info, I can change the items that show up on my monitor. And right now I can see visual depiction of the, oh, there it is. I'm gonna hit info to change what shows up on my monitor. And right here I can see a visual depiction of the loudness of the sound that my microphone is picking up. Now, just because I can see the loudness of the sound doesn't mean that I know anything about the quality of the sound. That's why what? Plug in something, use your headphones. All right, this is a serviceable microphone built into this camera, but it's more than likely not going to be something that you want to use for your project. There are multiple ways to put sound into this camera, but what I want to show today for the purposes of this is this little guy. So this is a camera mic that will slide into connection on the top of your camera that you've probably dealt with a little bit already. This is a pretty nice deal. It has rechargeable battery that you could replace with 2 AA's if you ran out of charge on this one. You could also charge it with micro USB connection off of 5 volts, which is the same as your power adapter for your telephone, for your smartphone. All right. One of the cool things about these is they have some interchangeable windscreens. So this, if you went outside and it's pretty nasty out, this is a good thing to bring along. Hey, be quiet! Yes, sir. All right. This is a good thing to grab if you're going to go record sound outside with this. Still be quiet. I'm recording sound.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you can just be quiet. All right. This is a little guy that's a good thing to bring with you if you're recording sound outside, especially if it's windy. It is a, let's see, how should we describe this? It is a more, I want to use a good word. It is a more capable windscreen than this one. This is probably fine for inside. If the wind is blowing, this will cut some of the sound of the wind from your microphone from going sss. All right. In the industry, we call these, are you ready for it? Dead cat. Seriously, that's what it's called. That's what the product is called when you order it. I'm going to pop this one back on. All right. to turn this on, you kind of have to hold this down for a couple of seconds, and there it goes. I know it's partially charged right there because this gives me a little indication on the blue light. To put this on your camera, this cold shoe plate is going to access the hot shoe on top of your camera. The hot shoe is not going to give any electricity to this because there's no way for it to transfer through here. Tighten up that little wheel. Microphone stuck on your camera. This interfaces with your camera right next to the headphone jack, but I'll make sure it's routed somewhere so that I don't get in the way of that monitor. This camera automatically switched over to use this as a source, but you might have to do something in the settings if it's not doing that. If you're having a problem with it, bring it to me. I'll check it out. So there are a couple of, see it like that? There are a couple of sensitivity settings up here. So right now it's decreasing, it's toning down the volume of any sounds picked up by 10 decibels, has -10. So if I needed a little amplification, there's no amplification. If I need a little bit, there's +20 decibels, and that sounds really crispy right now. So I'll probably go with no amplification as I'm recording right now. And I'm talking from this side, of the mic anyway right now, and you can monitor and you can see what's going on. I'm using my headphones right now. It's definitely going to change if I turn this around, and now it sounds usable. It's because this is a directional microphone. It's going to hear from the direction that it's pointed. So think of a narrow cone of a pickup pattern that comes from the front of that microphone, and that's where it hears good stuff. All right. Do I want to stop and make another thing? Yeah, I probably do. This rejects a lot more wind noise. Yeah. And this is called a windscreen also. It's just not as intense as this one. Yeah, sometimes people use it just because it looks cool too, because you look pro. Like you spend extra money on it. All right. Quick tip before I take this stuff off. One way to tell if your camera actually switched over to use the microphone that you're wanting to use is to use the scratch test. So if I just want to scratch my camera really quietly right here where the built-in microphone is, if I do it quiet enough that this mic isn't going to pick it up, I know that it's not using this one. If I want to check that it's using this microphone, scratch test, and I can really hear that on my headphones too. So a scratch on your windscreen is going to make a lot of noise, even if it's really quiet a foot away. Okay, I'm going to pause this